Hi guys! What do you think is the most challenging part in drawing a portrait? For me, it is to draw the head with correct proportions, to get the initial sketch right, where all facial features have correct size and location, same as in the reference photo. With this video, I'm starting a series of videos about drawing portraits, and I would like to begin with testing a few different methods that have been invented to help us to create proportionally correct drawing of the head. And the first method that I will use in this video is quite well known, the grid method. So let's begin. First of all, we need a photo. For this video, I choose a photo of Sadie Sink, wonderful actress that we know from Stranger Things series. Now I am going to draw a grid over the top of the photo. It can be also done on PC or mobile using the special apps. I made grid with squares 2 by 2 centimeters and have added extra lines just for the face to make more accurate drawing. The same grid I need to make on my drawing surface now. To make it easier, I do exactly the same size of grid boxes. And when grids are done, I can start my drawing. First of all, I need to find a start point, and we slowly begin to draw the contour of the face and facial features, moving from one cell to another. It's better to close part of the photo and open the next square or section after you finish the previous one. This way you can better concentrate on shapes and lines. I saw slightly different ways of starting to draw using the grid method. Someone prefers to outline the contour of the hair first. Someone makes a complete drawing of one square including shading and then go to the next one. I myself prefer to begin with left side of the face, moving from one facial feature to another, as the most important for me are accurate face proportions. I like drawing the hair, for instance. With hair I can allow myself don't replicate each square meticulously. So what should you know before starting to use this method? First, it's better to use black and white photo, so you can concentrate more on the lines and values. You even can start with another line drawing as a reference image. Second, you can change the size of grid squares on your drawing surface. Just make sure that the grid is proportional to the one on the photo. The number of squares should be the same. Next tip is take your time and try to draw lines and shapes that you see in each square on the photo accurately. Check the distances and angles between lines. Try not to think about whole object you are drawing, but concentrate on just lines and shapes. And another tip that I didn't follow, unfortunately, try to make grid lines on your drawing surface as light as possible, so it's easy to remove them later. Unfortunately, I made here quite bold lines and couldn't erase them properly. And here are some interesting facts that I've learned while preparing this video. So the grid method actually has been used by artists for centuries as a tool to create correct proportions. And there is an information that even Leonardo da Vinci used this method. There was a special drawing machine that 15th century artists were using, and this machine was made up of a square wooden frame, across which horizontal and vertical threads are stretched at regular intervals to form a grid. So artists looked at subjects through this grid and transferred the image to the piece of paper that was gridded up the same way. so it's quite an old method. However, even nowadays it's used by many artists, and I'm not surprised, because it's quite a useful method actually. This method can train your hand-eye coordination, improve perception of negative spaces. It helps to get accurate proportions to every detail in the image and improve your observation skills. If you like to use grid method but also want to develop your drawing skills further, try to use grid only for initial sketch, as I am doing now. And start shading after grid lines have been erased. Also, try not only to replicate lines from the squares, but also observe how do they form the shape of the head and facial features. You can also use grid only for the part of the image that is more difficult for you to draw correct. I knew about this method before, and I think I tried it 1 or 2 times, but it was a very long time ago. So it's really nice to refresh my knowledge now. So these are all highlights about grid method. And now let's just enjoy the process of drawing. So I think the drawing came up quite nice and accurate. And I of course have to add some shading here. Not too much, but just enough to show these warm vibes and some inner light coming from the image. I'm going to make a separate video about shading and hatching techniques, so don't forget to subscribe, send me your likes and comments, and have a great day.